Welcome back to the Physician Gardener. I am your host, the Physician Gardener, and I am board certified in lifestyle and internal medicine. Our disclaimer is that everything here is for informational purposes only. Before making any major changes, please consult your personal physician because while I am a doctor, I am not your doctor. Now let's get into the video. Today, we will be starting a series for the 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine. Those pillars are a predominantly whole foods plant-based diet, physical activity, stress management, positive social connections, adequate sleep, and avoidance of risky substances. The first topic up is nutrition. This is one of my favorite areas. My undergraduate degree at Howard University, HU, was actually in nutritional science. So what is a whole foods plant-based diet? This is a diet that predominantly consists of beans, nuts, seeds, fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. And these foods are predominantly in their whole food form. Whole food meaning as close to their natural state as possible, which typically means if you're buying it, it only has one ingredient, and that is the food itself. Why a whole foods plant-based diet? This type of diet has been proven in several studies, innumerable studies really, to help prevent, reverse, and treat several chronic diseases such as heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, stroke, obesity, metabolic syndrome, fatty liver disease. The list goes on and on. So that is why we advocate for a whole food plant-based diet. So an example of whole foods would be, there's a spectrum. So an apple is the wholest form of that food. And then you have applesauce, which would be considered minimally to moderately processed. Then you have apple juice, which is definitely moderate to highly processed. And then you have something like an apple fritter, which is the super processed, very bad for you form. So typically you want to stay as close to this side on the processing scale as possible. So in the list of whole foods, what's important? So we start out with whole grains, right? Most people eat their grains in the form of refined grains. That is your white flour, white sugar, white pasta, white rice, etc., etc. And so to switch that to a whole foods style of eating, you would do whole grain pasta, whole grain bread, whole wheat flour or whole grain flour or one of the alternative flours. If we are talking about rice, instead of doing white rice, you can do brown rice, you can do wild rice, black rice, purple rice. They have several different forms of rice other than just the white short grain rice that you see in the grocery store. Same thing with pasta. Most pasta is made from some type of bleached flour. So as a substitute, there is whole grain pasta available in the same aisle. You just have to look a little to the left or right, and sometimes it's on the bottom shelf, but whole grain pasta. They also are making different veggie pastas now. You could also zoodle some vegetables into, or not zoodle, spiralize some vegetables such as zucchini into pasta. So when it's zucchini, it's called zoodles, but otherwise spiralized vegetables of whatever tubular vegetable you want to try. Other examples of whole grains would be your rolled oats or old-fashioned oats, corn, millet, barley, quinoa, etc., etc. You have several options. It's just not what we're used to, but they are widely available. A general daily requirement for whole grains would be 48 grams or 3 to 6 servings. The variation in servings is because not all servings are created equal in terms of number of grams of whole grain. So an example of a serving would be half a cup of old-fashioned oats or half a cup of brown rice or wild rice, 1 cup of whole grain pasta, 1 cup of 1 slice of bread. All of those would equal 1 serving of whole grain. Next up, we have vegetables. Vegetables are, it is my mission in life to increase people's intake of vegetables. Very often in clinic, patients will tell me, oh yeah, I eat a lot of vegetables. And then I say, well, how many vegetables servings do you eat a day? And they're like, well, not every day. a couple times a week. Or I get full grown adults who just straight up tell me they don't eat vegetables because they don't like vegetables, or they just don't have time for vegetables, etc., etc. And while I understand certain time constraints, if you want to follow a healthy diet and you feel like you are following a healthy diet but you don't eat any vegetables, it's not a healthy diet. So, most people should be eating 4 to 6 servings of vegetables a day. And a serving of vegetables, depending on the vegetable, is usually, if it's a cooked vegetable, it's roughly half a cup. If it is a raw vegetable like leafy greens, then 3 cups is considered a serving, because we all know, like, if you cook spinach, that 3 cups will wither down to half a cup quite quickly. So that's why it varies whether it's cooked or raw. My advice for increasing your intake of vegetables: if you don't like vegetables at all, I would just say every time you go to the grocery store, maybe try one new vegetable. You can watch some YouTube videos, or you can hit up Google or myrecipes.com to get an idea of how to cook whatever vegetable it is. And I would also advise that you season your food. A lot of people don't like vegetables because they don't like the texture, they don't like the flavor, but all they're doing is opening a can of some type of vegetable and putting it in a pot and putting it on a plate as a serving. If you don't season your food, and if you are only trying canned foods, of course you're not going to like it. That's not representative of all vegetables. So if you get fresh vegetables or even frozen vegetables and then maybe saute it or grill it, as opposed to just boiling it to death, then you may have a completely different vegetable experience than what you're used to. I also like to tell patients, if you put a piece of meat in a pot of water and just boiled it, it would not be appetizing. Like, in general, nobody eats their meat like that. It's always seasoned with some type of salt, pepper, herbs, something. And most of the time, it's not really boiled unless you're making some type of stew, in which case you have it seasoned with a whole bunch of other things. So treat your vegetables the same way you treat your other food, and give it the same care and attention to make it taste good. Next up on the list is fruits. We need about 2 to 4 servings of fruit per day. For a general adult, a serving of fruit is approximately a half a cup for various types of berries. If it is a regular size fruit, then just one fruit is considered a serving. If it's like an extra large apple or something, then that might be 2 servings. So it kind of depends on the size of the fruit, but kind of picture what it would look like if it was cut up. If it would be half a cup, then we're going to say that's a serving. The importance of your fruits and vegetables is that they give you a lot of fiber, a lot of vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals, antioxidants. All of these things work together for your good. Phytochemicals and antioxidants help with cell repair and help you fight cancer. The vitamins and minerals help your metabolism function optimally. So you want a wide variety of fruits and vegetables in your diet. We like to say eat the rainbow, meaning try and get different colored foods in your diet. So, like, in one day you could eat tomatoes and cucumbers, and that would be your green and your red. If you had a banana and an orange for snack, that would be your yellow and orange. That was a little redundant. And then, so that's already, you got green or red, orange, yellow, green. And then for blue, there's not that much stuff that is naturally blue, but like blueberries, blackberries, purple cabbage would all fall under the blue umbrella. For increasing fruits in your diet, say you're not really a sweet person, or you aren't sure what type of fruits you like, I encourage you to try at least one new fruit a week. Just go to the grocery store and maybe pick something that you maybe haven't tried, or that you know isn't on your I hate it list, and give that one a try. Eat it as your mid-morning or mid-afternoon snack. Some people like to break their fast, i.e. eat breakfast as a fruit, and that is also an option. You can also use fruit as your dessert substitute, as opposed to something overly sweetened with a lot of added sugar at bedtime. Next on the list is legumes, and some people might say, well, what's a legume? Legumes would be all of your beans, like your black beans, kidney beans, chickpeas, white beans. Also, that includes your lentils. Peanuts are also in this category. They're a little different than regular nuts. Pinto beans and soybeans as well. So legumes can be eaten as a side dish or a main dish. They can be added to soups, salads. They can be transformed into other things, i.e., for example, soybeans are often turned into tofu or tempeh. Chickpeas can be turned into hummus. Some people make black bean hummus. There's a variety of different ways you can incorporate legumes into your diet. They can be a snack if you're using peanuts, for instance. Um, you want to incorporate these into your diet because they are very high in fiber, protein, zinc, magnesium, several other minerals. And for legumes, we want your servings to be at least 1 to 2 servings a day. And generally, a serving is considered half a cup in this category. So, last on my list would be your nuts and seeds. In the nuts and seeds category, we have walnuts, almonds, cashews, Brazil nuts, pecans, chia seeds, hemp seeds, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, just anything you can think of that's an edible seed or nut would be in this category. What we love about nuts and seeds is that they are high in your omega-3s and other unsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. They are also a good source of protein and several vitamins and minerals, including calcium, magnesium, vitamin D, zinc, iron, etc. Because they are such a good source of healthy fats, they are also they help with feeling full and satiety, meaning that you are less likely to overeat on other sources. Also, though, because they are high in fat, you want to limit your nuts and seeds to no more than 1/3 cup per day. Depending on the size of your hand, that's roughly the inside of your palm. If you cup it and put your beans in, or not beans, if you cup your palm and pour your nut serving into that, then that's about how much you should eat in one day. So I will link some studies in the description box about the benefits of a whole foods plant-based diet so that you know that I'm just not pulling this out of the air. And then don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, leave your questions in the description box. I encourage you to start with just one healthy substitution per day and build yourself up to a more inclusive diet that leans towards the whole foods plant-based lifestyle. That's all for today. Follow me on Instagram at The Physician Gardener. You can also like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you know when I release the next video.